Hello, everyone. My name is Edward Murray, and this is my video review for Project 3 of Java 1, Term 1402. So this week, we took all the skills we learned from Week 1 and Week 2, the linear layouts, the text views, as well as working with JSON objects in Week 2. We kind of combined them all together, and this week learned how to check for an internet connection or a network connection, tap into an API, pull the JSON data from the API, and display it in our application. So first, what API are you planning on using? For this project, I decided to go with a quotation API. The API just kind of has a set list of categories, and using those categories, you can look up certain daily quotes. The quotes change every day. And with this particular API, you're only allowed 10 quotes per hour. So using that information, I kind of built my application around that. So I'll go ahead and walk through the code now. Um, you can see here some of it's kind of set up the same as last week. I just kind of have all of my text views and variables and things like that kind of just sectioned out under the main class, the main activity class. So first, I have the result view for the results of the API. I have my advanced view, which is the spinner, and then I have a few string variables. I have a tag for console logging purposes, and as well as some other strings. And then I have a public static string, which is a URL, which I use for the API. So we scroll down, everything's pretty much the same. Basic stuff we've been going over. You have the header and the result view, text views. The main thing we added this week was the spinner. I have my spinner adapter here, and then I have the actual spinner. And then I have my connection, which pulls from my connection Java class. So we switch over to that. You can see I have a connection class, the boolean for connection status to check to see if the connection is true or false using the boolean con. And then I have my get response method as well that builds the JSON object and then displays it in my result view. So we'll go ahead and demonstrate the application now. So you can see here the first category that automatically pops up when you run the application is funny. I have it just displaying the quote, and then I also have the author displayed. You can go ahead and switch it to sports. I have a little thing that pops up that says getting sports quotes. It'll pull the new information from the API and display the sports quotes. It does that for every single category. And then the other thing I want to demonstrate, like I said, you're only allowed 10 quotes per hour. So I'll just go ahead and select a bunch of them, about 10 times. And then once it reaches its quote limit, I have a check for that, which I think this next one, oh, maybe it's the next one. There it goes. It took quite more than 10 this time for some reason. But once you hit the query limit, I go ahead and tell the user that the query limit has been reached. And that's pretty much it. That wraps it up for week 3. This week went pretty good, and I look forward to next week learning about adding images and other UI elements to the application.